On the frosty morning of the 30th of January 1649, a small rump of the English Parliament executed their monarch, King Charles I. This unprecedented and brutal beheading was the culmination of two savage and tragic civil wars. Wars that left the country bleeding, tattered, and divided. The English civil wars, in terms of population, were the bloodiest conflicts that these islands have ever experienced. In the First World War, the British suffered roughly 880,000 deaths, roughly 2% of the population. In the English civil wars, numbers are harder to calculate. Estimates suggested around 200,000 deaths, both civilian, military, men, women, and children. This would equate to roughly 7% of the population. The conflict between King and Parliament has often been called the English Civil War. Yet, although it is the usual name given, it is incorrect. The war was in fact three wars, and it was spread over England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, and the Caribbean, and even on the sea. On top of this, calling it the English Civil War makes less sense when conflicts in Scotland and Ireland were huge causes in the wars themselves. Whatever we call the conflict, it can be agreed that it tore communities and families apart. It literally set brother against brother and father against son. There were massacres, atrocities, and sadly events that we today would describe as war crimes, hardly a civil war. The causes themselves were twisted and confusing, and are still argued to this day. Whatever the cause, these three wars left thousands of dead, the country devastated, and the king beheaded with a military dictatorship in control. But despite all this, the problems which caused the Civil War had not been solved. Instead, powder trails of discontent had been left with fuses spluttering all around them. Politics, control of the army, religion, the right to rule had all been fought over by an immovable king who believed in the divine right of kings against the ever-growing force of Parliament, hungry for power and control. There were triumphs and tragedies, hope and disasters. And of course, like all conflicts, it was full of heroes and villains. In this series, we'll be looking at everything English Civil War. We'll be looking at the causes, the characters, the battles, weapons, tactics, beliefs, religion, the role of women, famous sieges, and even what the dreaded barber surgeon got up to. From Charles I's birth right through to his son and the restoration of the monarchy in 1660, we'll be covering an awful lot. We'll also be running Civil War specials, where we look at the more weird and wonderful activities connected to the English Civil Wars. Things like reenacting, wargaming, figure painting, gaming, battlefield walks, and even some museum tours. Oh yes, we have a lot planned. We really hope this new series sounds exciting because it is really getting us going. To make sure you don't miss out, make sure you subscribe to our channel and ring that bell. We look forward to seeing you on the next video. God save the King.